What's up, y'all? Jay Sproul, movies, music, sports, and life. And I want to talk about a new TV show, a mini series. It's only 6 episodes, but I haven't seen anybody else online talking about it. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing, but for people like me who are big fans of professional basketball, I think that it's an interesting enough watch. And that is Clipped. This is exclusively on Hulu. And it is basically the Donald Sterling slash LA Clippers story dealing with the racist situation that took place that forced Donald Sterling to sell the team. So if you see it in the thumbnail, the dude who plays Chris Paul looks nothing like Chris Paul. And he can't act. He couldn't act his way out of a room if a projectile was in his head and they said that you got 1 minute to blow me away with your acting. Yeah, he just be all over that wall. Same for the dude playing Blake Griffin. Same for the dude playing DeAndre Jordan. And granted, they don't really give the basketball players, they don't give them ample time to act per se. The only person who they give a chance to act is Doc Rivers, aka Lawrence Fishburne. And as we know from The Matrix all the way back to Boys in the Hood and Higher Learning, Lawrence Fishburne is one of our greatest actors, especially African American actors. So he does the job well, even without the gravelly voice. This is actually how Doc talks. Even without talking like Doc Rivers, he still gives a pretty convincing portrayal of him, down to the point I feel like he shows more personality than Doc Rivers ever has in interviews or anything like that. And the main acting and the main storyline is very interesting. Doc gets a lot of screen time, but you're gonna have to prepare yourself for this because I don't think you guys were prepared for this. Almost all the screen time goes to Al Bundy, aka Ed O'Neill from Married with Children, aka Donald Sterling. He does a very believable job of portraying him. You almost forget watching him that he used to play Al Bundy. And V. Steviano, who was the groupie slash his personal assistant that worked for him, they focus, it's almost her series, which is crazy, but almost everything comes from her perspective. And then Mrs. Sterling, I think her name is Debbie, but I can't remember right now, his wife, those three are the ones who get the screen time. And almost everything that happens in the show is based around those three. So in episode 1, we kind of get introduced to them. You find out very quickly that Donald Sterling never has sex with V. Steviano, but he always says, "You're my girl. I need my girl to act a certain way, to be a certain way, blah, blah, blah." And it takes a while before you finally realize this is one of the weirdest sugar daddy, sugar mama relationships that you've ever seen, because she was embarrassed to tell her fellow groupie friend that we don't have sex. And I would imagine if she told other people that we don't have sex, that they probably wouldn't even believe her. But they really don't. There's just something about having a young mixed black woman on his side that makes him comfortable, which flies in the face of how racist he acts and feels and treats black people, including his team. So I know I'm not giving a whole lot of details on episode 1 because it really just kind of introduces the show, and there's more meat and potatoes that go into episode 2. So tomorrow I will give you guys a recap of episode 2, and then later that night I'll give you a recap of episode 3, because I believe episode 3 comes on tomorrow around 11 o'clock. But trust me, just off of Lawrence Fishburne's acting, you will enjoy his portrayal as Doc Rivers, and based on Ed O'Neill, getting a chance to see him as something different besides Al Bundy after all these years, you will appreciate his acting skills. And yeah, at minimum, if you are a pro basketball fan, this isn't as good as a Showtime, the LA Lakers story, but it is interesting, especially because you know nothing that they're showing is fiction. It all really happened a few years ago. And before I end this video, let me end by saying that when the Clippers were planning to protest Donald Sterling's behavior, they were supposed to throw the ball up in the air for the tip against the Golden State Warriors, and then the plan was just to walk off the court on live TV. And they had a player vote on it, and I think it was either by 1 or 2 votes that they say we shouldn't do it. But that would have made a statement, and I think that you can't look back and say stuff like we should have done it. No, you should have did it when you should have did it.